And you can sign up for the Ascending with Our Roots retreat with the link, as you can see right beside me. Sandrea says, a long time ago, San Andrea was a high priestess on the holy island of Avalon. No one to do a good job.
That's right. I'm here again. I'm getting back into my lives. And my favorite girl, Betty Boop. Yep, that's right. I'm here again. I'm getting back into my February in with a great big smile and say, I'm awake. I'm awake to this new moment.
Brand Merkava Holistics. Her name is
I heard of
Jade.
it. I knew there was different types of Reiki, but not angelic. I went through every single toe that was broken, and I sent healing to it. I didn't know whether I was doing it right or wrongly, but I felt that it was the right thing to do.
Good grand day, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful Ascended Masters guided meditation. We have El Moria. El Moria is the carrier of the blue ray of light, and he is.
Are you ready to awaken, heal, and align with your highest self? I'm Heather Len, founder of Heart Alchemy Wellness, a spiritual life coach, certified Ayurvedic nutritionist, QHHT practitioner, and 300-hour YTT yoga instructor. I've dedicated my journey to guiding others through deep transformations through shadow work and energetic healing. Through Chakra Wave Tuning and trauma-informed sound therapy, I help you unlock your inner wisdom, balance your energy, and step into your true power, whether through one-on-one sessions or through our immersive retreats. I'm here to support your path to wholeness. Join me on this journey of self-discovery and healing. It's time to reclaim your power, awaken your heart, and step into the life you were meant to live.
Grand Rising, Grand Wednesday, Grand Mercury Day, everyone. Good morning for all the others. Well, it's Wednesday. I hope y'all are feeling well and smelling well on this fine Mercury Day. Before we dive in, just want to kind of give you guys a couple of tips about Mercury. Just because I know last week we talked about Wednesday and the energy is all about communication. Today, we're going to dive a little bit more into the magic of Wednesday and what it can bring. Okay, so the stones that we can use on Wednesdays when we are working through our communication skills, we can use emerald, aventurine, agate, sodalite, hematite, pearl, and moonstone. All of these stones work with the energy of Mercury. Okay, so as you are manifesting or you are going through your day today, I would put one of these crystals into your pocket to help assist you with your communication throughout the day. Also, some fun facts. As you are working with Mother Gaia and we are learning how to reground ourselves and to the wisdom of Mother Gaia, we can dive in through herbs and plants. That is one of the best ways to A, work on our chakra system, B, make that reconnection with Mother Gaia through the blessings and the abundance that she provides with us. So ferns, and there's Mr. Kitty. Hi, Tiggy. And here's my magic. You have lavender, cherry. Come on, Tiggy. You have periwinkle. You have star rise and licorice. So these are all the herbs that you can use in order to maximize the energy for the Mercury day. And of course, here's some magical intentions that you can do. You know, it's all about communication, writing. And one thing that I am firmly being reminded, because I went through a phase where I was guided to quit planning. I'm this type of girl that planned my whole life. Okay. My whole life. By the time I was 21, I wanted to be married and have a kid. I was 22. Bada boom, bada bang. Check that box off, right? These are the control mechanisms that we are programmed to believe, that we have to check all these little boxes in order to be seen and heard, right? The next one was I wanted to be a business owner by 25, or not 25, by 35, because that was my next level. I had to raise my daughter. And then when she got into the, older, like towards the teen years, I really dove into my career, right? So in order to let all that go, my guys are like, you got to quit planning for a minute. You got to live in the moment, because with your Virgo, you're too organized. You have everything written out, and there is zero room for us to give you things and for you to receive. You're in your way. So I teach a lot of us that sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And at this particular moment, I was, because I had planned everything. But I'm being guided that writing things down and having goals, I'm going back to the discipline aspect, right? Because I had to let everything loose for a little bit. And now they're like, okay, now let's go back to the drawing board with a new perspective and new vision and clarity on, where you're going moving forward. We need you to start writing down your goals, not goals, but intentions. And, I guess I never realized, because no one told you in business school, because that's the school that I took, the 3D matrix, gotta get that big witch education, because if not, you're not going to be able to get a job. Another program. Let's break the matrix, guys. Okay. It's also about knowledge, transactions, divination, business. It's all about debt. It's a good day to get a hold on your debt. Write down that that budget you ain't been wanting to do, right? It's also about fear, the loss. It's about travel, and money matters. Okay, so these are all essences of Mercury. So for me, I'm traveling, so it actually makes for a great day. Also, I have on my hematite bracelet. Bada boom, bada bang. Yes, you. There are just some things that you have to wear at all times, being a practitioner, in order to keep us from other people's energies. And I've never realized how much they really do work. And I did quit wearing some of my crystals for a reason, and I'm just going to tell you why. Because I was also guided that if I am using these talismans, or these objects that I'm working with, if I hold an attachment to them and give that particular item and energy to where let's just say I have a favorite crystal that I work with, right, in my sessions. And one day I'm like, I can't find my crystal, right? Am I just going to not show up for my life's purpose because I can't find my crystal? That's not an option, right? So I'm learning to detach, but understand the energy, how it magnifies it and brings additional support to. Okay. So They're just tools and resources. They're an extension to the modalities that we bring to the table. All right, so let's just go ahead and cleanse the energy space, because your girl could go on forever about about Mercury's magic. But we're not here for that. We're here to learn some health tips, tricks, awakening tips, tricks, and just how to maximize the awakening process. Because right now the collective is awakening. We're seeing across the collective, we understand that the last time that we were in this energy was during the Great Depression. So guys, we the energy on the outside, the shadow aspect of it does appear to be a lack energy that we are here to overcome and shine light on. That is the 3D matrix. That is what the controllers want you to think is going on, right? And if you are attached to that system, there's going to be all kinds of fear. People are losing their job, floodings, there's all kinds of different things that are going on that we are watching and experiencing in the collective. And again, it is what? Tell me a vision. Why? Because it's on TV. Okay. Not saying that the things that we're seeing are not real. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a spin and a twist to everything. Okay. Sometimes we're just not privy to that information, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because why they keeping us hidden with all this flooding and all this stuff, what is really going on in the collective? Right? What's going on behind scenes? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going on behind scenes. Us light workers are, working together, banding at night, during the day, coming together, flowing together, praying together, meditating together, co-creating together, which the matrix can't stand. It's like, so that, my friends, is how we're able to show up and to say, hey, this may be going on, but I am the calm in the storm. And we are experiencing the Gene Key awakening this week. Okay? Which is what? Agitation. Right? It's all about let's shake you up. Right? And guess what? Sometimes when our life is stagnant, and this could go for communities too, so don't get your panties in a bunch, okay, guys? Because sometimes, I'm just going to be honest, when the tornado came through Northridge, where my insurance business was at, the initial hiccup was horrendous. But looking back, 5 years later, it made a significant difference. Why? Because some of the locations that needed to go, that weren't willing to go down, sometimes Mother Earth knows exactly how to cleanse the energy, the stagnant energy, right? See, we have to go through the disease process. We got to sit there and sit in the uncomfortableness, and then it starts to set in, and then then the stagnation process starts, and then you got to wait to the crystallization process, then you start the disease process. But what we fail to realize is that on an energetic level, somewhere along the way, this environment needed a raise in vibration. Boom! And how does Pluto do that? All the things that are not in alignment or need assistance renewing, the divine assists us, puts us right on our path. Now, sometimes you can have control and manipulation. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I'm not saying that and that I'm not saying that. But you know what, guys? That's what we're not here to focus on that, because we're never going to ascend if we worry about what they're doing. because we really got to be cleaning our dusty corners first, right? So setting our intention. Woo! So for me, my intention today is just safe travels with the pups. We're going to be driving on our first major trip together for an outdoor trip. We're going camping. Actually, it's almost like we're going back to school camp. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited. Actually, the natural excitement just kicked in. So at Twin Moon, we are actually going to be staying at an old camp. So we're going to be going back, like we're going back to summer camp. So it's going to be awesome. Oh, and then Mr. Kitty, I need to have someone come love on Mr. Tiggs because I don't know if he's been by himself for 4 days. Food and water is fine, but love, connection. Okay, so that is my intention. I'll give you guys just a second just to kind of dive into what intention you want. And then we're going to dive into the oracle cards. I am being guided that we have 2 today. Obviously, there's extra communication. Hi, Kitty. Okay, hang on. He wants me to give him another swoop. I give him Reiki when I do this, guys. And he asked me to give him more. Oh, all right. So you guys want to see some live Reiki? Here you go. I'm giving it right here live. Animal Reiki. Okay, let me. Thank you, buddy. I had to do it. And what's crazy is I can hear animals. I don't necessarily know what's wrong with them, but I do hear them. Like I'm learning that my communication, I know more than I think I know. And then I need to quit putting limitations on it because words are magic and words are spells. Ooh, so we have Venus and Diam Channon says, the beauty of love lies in its wilderness. Be daring and embark upon new journeys with your dragon. Ooh, did we just not talk about what's going on in the collective and how it is inspiring something new? Even though it may not feel like it, but how do you think we got here? I mean, let's just think back 100 years ago. 125, right? Because early 1900s was when we ideally think of everything being completely different. You had horse and carriage. How do you think they felt with cars coming in and their land just being changed and transformed? And when this was the beginning of us being unrooted and ungrounded from our ancestral wisdom. There was a purpose. I promise. There was a purpose. Okay. So that was the very beginning of the end. And we are getting ready to go through an astrological change very similar to that as far as the advancements in technology. So our communication, our goals, what we're writing down, all of this magic that we're co-creating with Source is no longer gonna be from what? The lower vibrational control, right? Because they swooped in right around the 1900s and then started taking over. That's when we started getting everything was real shadowy and everything, and which we're bringing to light right now, right? That was everything that was ending up until this very new beginning. So that is why we're in a 9-year, right? Because we're to balance all the masculine, the feminine energy. Then we have a completion. And then once we have a completion, then you start back at what? the Fool's or zero, at the very beginning, at the Fool's journey, just like you do in tarot. So Venus and Diam Channon. All right. And then we're going to be using Elena Fairchild, the Lightworker Oracle. I don't think I need to read the messages. The message is really clear. Ooh, and I love these cards. Hang on, one more. Okay. Oh my gosh, you cannot get better than this. All these synchronicities, like, we're in a 9-year, Heather. So, here we go. Eternal now. 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Right? Reassurance of golden light. Were we not just working with the golden light when I was just doing Reiki on Heidi, the golden white light? Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is reassurance. And it's number 36, 36. So 336. Look up that. And he's like, Mom, buddy, me and you cannot be having. Hey, come on. Come on. I need that. Sorry, guys. We're having some. I want to do it. He's like, I want to do what I want, and you want to do what you want. I do need you over here, though, love. Okay, thank you. Okay. And Eternal now, we're just going to read both of these because I believe there's a smidgen of a message in each one of these. And we know what eternally now means. It means be present. Right now is where the magic happens, not in the past and not in the future, because every decision we make right here in the present moment, what co-creates our future? So it says, within you is great strength and courage. However, just because you can manage to keep going when you are drained or stressed, it doesn't mean you have to. You are encouraged by your higher guidance to request assistance in letting go of tension within your mind and body. You will gain energy even through this release and perhaps even see things in a new and more optimistic light. Shifting into a more present, relaxed, and enjoyable state of being will help you overcome past and successfully create your future. Is that not the conversation we were just having about the flooding? Yes, it sucks. But really, with where we are at astrologically, flooding is common. Floods, like, I want to be honest, the earthquakes, the floodings, I wouldn't be surprised if we would be having a huge tsunami soon. I'm not predicting, I'm not, trying to wish anything upon anything, but this is the energy of the astrology. Why do you think astrology is important? Why do you think anyone important uses astrology to plan when they want to have kids? Why do you think some people would be like, oh, I want to have a C-section this day at this time? Trying to control and to dictate the abundance. But guess what? Mother Earth is like, nah. You may have some control, but the and the divine and my grid and, the oneness of it all is ultimately the one that has control. We're like the Peabody, just like, okay, we're co-creating. We are co-creators. Okay. Co-creation. It does not mean that we are all God within, is why we're able to co-create. Okay. And you don't have to look out to find it. That's for sure. And you don't have to pay someone to find it either. However, the 10% of saving your money is legitimately a way to sustain your abundance. Okay. It is something that has been taught. It is something that has been passed along, but it does not mean that you got to give it to someone else to line their pockets in order for you to be forgiven. Now that's that's not love. That's some sort of manipulation there. But but really it should be, it is, we are supposed to save 10%. We are supposed to be abundant. We are supposed to being a good financial advisor, and everything that we teach is in alignment. But it's just a little skewed because the only thing that, religion has that spirituality doesn't is in spirituality. You've already been through hell and back and realized that the man that you were paying, that you were giving your 10% to, literally was probably energetically not even in alignment with the role that they were carrying. And my experience, and I can say that, I'm just going to throw it out there. One time I was going to convert, and then, then some pedophilia came in. And so I was never really indoctrinated in the church. I was always in and out. I always loved it. And I loved Yahshua and Yahweh and the stories. But there was just something I could never put my finger on. And I'm a 5'1". And you know why, guys? Because my 5'1" was like, I see something. There's not right. It's not right. And what's not right is that there's a lot of judgments there. That's all I'm going to say. In spirituality, you learn that your judgments are just a reflection of your past self, and you literally have to own your actions. And you can't go blame Johnny for stepping on your toe because last night you kicked Johnny in his shin and you forgot about that. Okay? You forgot about that. In spirituality, you understand that when you're co-creating, that when you're saving the abundance, that is planting your future seeds. And if something happens, which it will, because we all age, right? Then we have those seeds of prosperity to take care of us. Instead of giving it away, dude, we already paid taxes and give them mugs 10%. Hell to the no. What are they doing with that 10%? Actually, you know what though? I'll be honest. So I was the treasurer at church, and the tithings today don't even barely sustain the churches, which is sad because a lot of individuals do find wholeness there. They do. That is just not a structure that is for me specifically, because I'm just going to leave it there because I have my beliefs, and they're just not in alignment with that. Okay, resurrection of golden light. The golden light comes to you as a gift of grace and reassurance. It is a time to embrace the universe, an expression of divine comfort and a sign of hope. When the golden light appears in a sign, and that everything in your life, even the most troubling matters, is going to work out perfectly. They are held in the grateful hands of the divine and will be resolved more swiftly and beautifully than might expect. So this is reminding us that, yes, even though we're seeing all this chaos around us and these catastrophes, it is reminding us of one thing: community. It's bringing us back together. Do you know why other countries are so wealthy? Do you know why? Because the families stick together. They band together. What do we do in the United States? And they let their kids sleep with them. They don't say, you are separate from us. Right? Think about that. Think about that. Americans separate, and a lot of, we just, our norms are not what they used to be. You know what I mean? Like, your child would probably sleep with you until they were probably 3 or 4 because of the risk of being out in the elements or animals, yada, yada, yada. But today we're like, oh, but you're a baby. You go sleep in your own room by yourself, but you've been in my womb for 9 months. Imagine all that stress on the baby. but they stick together. Okay. So they stick together, they band together, and they create wealth regeneration. What do we do in America? You have your house, I have my house. We separate, you separate, we all separate. We got 10 separate families. We all broke as hell, right? Right? We all complaining about not having enough, right? But together, we come together, we buy a property, we have abundance. Abundance. That's what that's reminding us, okay? In my opinion. As it's reminding us that we are all connected, that your pain is my pain. Your happiness is my happiness. Your tears are my tears. Your loss is my loss as well, right? It's a shared experience. So things are going to get better, but I'm just warning y'all that the 2025, I told you at the very beginning, I'm not an astrologer. I know enough to get me in trouble, okay? I know enough to know what energy is coming in, what energy is coming out. I know all about my natal chart because I have to in order for me to do my work. I kind of want to know what transits I'm in. Plus, it helps me with my clients. Let's be honest. Once I start looking, let's see that we do a couple of sessions, right? And at the Chakra Wave Tuning. And, because it's usually a tune-up. It is a tune-up, but let's say that you are having some major ailments, right? And I can't get you into a quantum healing session, right? Because this is part of the reason why I created the Chakra Wave Tuning. Why? Because not everyone can shut off fight or flight, y'all. You're constantly in fight or flight. And who is that? It is usually programmable. Okay. And they know exactly which demographics they can program you to. I'm assuming y'all know which ones that is, right? Where does it start? Let's be honest. Is Johnny with 2 parents, educated, very know what's going on in Johnny's life? Are they going to be able to penetrate and, try to convince Johnny? No. What about Sam over here that, I was a youth mentor. So if you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4 stressors, this is your frontal lobe here. Okay. This is your brain. Okay. And does your brain not basically protect your frontal lobe, right? Or your head, your scalp, right? Your head. But yeah, one stressor, cannot get enough sleep at home. Belly is hungry. Money problems between the family. Abuse. What happens? They are in full mode. Okay. And guess how many children there are that are in this high risk exposure group? A lot. So that is why I do the work that I do, is because I know that I've worked with the children, and now the children are getting older, and we're here to reroute them and reground them into what their own intelligence is saying, instead of looking outward. Because guess what? I've learned, yes, I get a lot from other people, but anything that is very valuable is always found within. It's always found within. Okay, let's do our Qigong to stimulate and activate our lymphatic system. It's always important to do this daily because energy becomes stagnant, right? Just like we're seeing right now. Again, we are seeing flooding. My condolence, my prayers go out to the families that are being impacted. There is light at the end of the tunnel. It is our responsibility to band together to help one another in any way, shape, or form. And we're going to get through this, just like when we had the tornado in 2019 in my town. It was not fun, but we did get through it day by day. And guess what? There was so much love and support and beauty and the connection that almost the whole damn community forgot. But for that moment in time, Mother Earth brought everyone together in the most extraordinary ways. And guess what? Love outshines any shadows of loss, of regret, of lack. The light reminds you that there's always a dawn of a new day. And I think that's kind of what we're experiencing right now in the weather. And guess what? It's free game. It is weather season. I'm 44. This has been going on since it's never stopped. And the Tell Me a Vision is just highlighting things to get everyone's panties in a roar. They're just trying to bunch them up like, are you going to feel it? Right? Because they're participating in the shadow of the Aries energy, of the Mars energy, because the energy of the year is a fire. It's a fiery energy, right? So you can see all the fiery behavior that is a reaction to everything that's going on. But it is our divine birthright, okay? And I'm just going to say this, that the universe will provide for us. And that it is not our job to go seek for work. And it is not our job to seek how and why this has happened. It is our job and our responsibility to be open and receptive to understand the lesson at hand. And also take that wisdom and find the abundance in it. Right? If each and every one of us quit looking for work, but actually attracted what we are authentically, could you imagine the vibration on the earth? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Because half the people that I touch, they do not like what they do, which is a problem. Because we're not creating from the heart. We're creating from this lack, I am not enough attitude, and I don't trust that my divine birthright is I'm taken care of if I follow my heart. It does not mean you're going to have gold and lavish things. It does mean, though, that your basic needs are going to be taken care of. Always. Always. You take action, you will always be taken care of. I don't care if your house burns down and you got to take your ass out to the woods and you got to go forage for a week. There is still something in those woods that will provide you abundance. So, tell me now again, oh, I don't have this. Well, a lot of people make a lot more with a lot less. And I'm guilty of being one of those materialistic, I gotta have it. I've been one of those. And guess what? My soul blazes it on fire every time because they're like, no, you are humble. You are a servant. And you will have excessive amounts of money when the time is right and your mission supports it. Right? Wealth is not a bank account. Wealth is not a bank account. Let me say that a third time. Wealth is not a bank account. Look at some of the richest people in the world and look at their soul. Maybe 1% of them have it right. And they're co-creating and they got the memo of co-creation. And guess what? The attitude of gratitude, right? The other ones are probably stuck, stagnant, controlling, manipulative, definitely on that old Capricorn top-down structure. Do what I say structure. And they're lifeless. No vitality. Those are the ones that can't even perform in their 50s because they're so overstimulated by everything else because of their control mechanisms. And I'm just being honest. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. I've witnessed it. So, all right, let's dive into our Qigong because we are not that, right? We are creating the new, right? We are the new. We are not our parents. Here we go. We're going to start with our underarms today. Why? Because I feel like, I feel like it. We're going to change it up. We're just starting under our underarms today. We're going to do it 9 times. If you need a modification, again, modifications, you basically put your hand like this and you jam up under your underarm like that, okay? But I'm going to choose not to do the modification because I really need the actual lymphatic or the full expression. Plus, I kind of think I like the way it feels a little bit. Even though it stings, I think I understand that the stinging is an expression and it is releasing things that are unseen that I could hold on to and that can trip me up later. So there you go. That's my reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whew. Ooh, and then I breathed in, guys, and like 4 of my my back just cracked like 4 times all the way up. My spine was like beep 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 beep, giving me a message. I just got a vision about Mork and Mindy. I don't know why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I know why. Because Mork would be like, beep, 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 beep. That's why. My guys are like, yep, okay. All right, moving on to our elbow creases. This is basically us giving and receiving. And did we not just have a whole conversation about giving and receiving and getting out of our own way? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if you are experiencing some hardships with the flooding and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with the flooding and then the fires and stuff, there is light at the end of this tunnel. It may be rough. It may seem like a lot, but my best advice to you is to focus on the positive. Okay. The more that you focus on the positive, that is the experience you are creating. Each and every one of us are going to have some sort of trial, some sort of problem, some sort of issue that is beyond our control. And weather is beyond our control. And it's nothing to be afraid of. And it's nothing that needs to be talked about more than we understand. And we are all in this together. 5 years ago was Dayton. This year it's Cincinnati, Kentucky area. I think last year or the year before, the Troy Piqua region was severely flooded. So this is something that we have experienced as, in Ohio, in our collective. We have experienced this across, all across the United States. And I, as an old insurance agent, I'm just going to tell everyone, this is the one way they can get you by the, I'm going to be out, I'm just going to say it. The insurance companies get you by the balls. Okay. This is a good way to come in to, why? Flood insurance isn't covered. That's why. Under your standard policy, it just is not covered. And unless you're in a flood zone, you do not have flood insurance. Which means what? Which means all of these individuals that are experiencing this, unless they had flood insurance, this includes the businesses too, y'all. Your employers that you work at and stuff like that, just like the beer company that was flooded down in Cincinnati. These are our jobs. These are our homes. These are our communities. But it is also a big, huge money gap. A lot of people go without. A lot of people lose a lot of stuff during these type of floodings. Okay. And that is exactly why I got out of insurance, though, because I see a house floating down the river, and I just see it in my mind's eye, and I'm just getting pissed off because I know that none of these houses are covered, and entire homes. And it's sad because we pay all of this money to protect our things. And the one thing that we did not protect it from is the one thing that will take it down. And I think that's why I wanted to bring that to light to everyone. So we're all in this together. Anyone that is experiencing flooding, you guys are in this together. And I pray for you. We are with you. And we will get through this. And this is being eternally now. This is a way for things to shift in the future. And this is the reassurance of the golden light. This is Mother Earth's way of saying, I see you. I'm shining light on you. And sometimes that's in ways of redirection. And flooding is a way of redirection, if you think about it. And if you really think about it, I mean, come on. Didn't the continents used to be together? I mean, they're not anymore. So our minds think that everything's supposed to stay the same, but it's not. That is not the case. It's ever changing. And once we realize that, it makes these changes a lot easier because we understand that somewhere along the line, change was going to happen, whether we liked it or not. And if we had it our way, we would stay there kicking, screaming, digging our heels down. We're not going. Sound about right? Let's do our beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Long story short, the floodings in the astrology. This is just something that is prevalent in this specific energy that we are experiencing. Does that mean that people are like, oh, it's hot, blah, 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 blah? Well, maybe so. Maybe so. But you know my thoughts on that. We allow it. How have we not allowed it? I mean, here we are. You want to be the change? We change individually. We change from, you change, I change, and the change starts with each one of us. And then we band together because then we're stronger in masses, right? And that's how we're going to get together because the communities, I promise, will come together. Love wins. It may look brim and, a little brim right now, Cincy. Okay, because I know that we're about to have some more rain coming this weekend. High hopes that the rain will pass and that we've seen the worst of it. Okay, but y'all, Flood insurance is not covered, okay? It is not covered. If we have a flood and you have a home and all of your stuff is damaged, you might as well just say, that's a wrap. It's not covered, okay? It's 100% L. L, L, L. Forwards, backwards, sideways. So I hope that can help some people. Because guess what? Now that I've told you, you guys can't complain if y'all didn't go get flood insurance. But nah, we got to be accountable for our own actions. A lot of people didn't know. Well, y'all hear me out. Now you know. Anyone that's heard this cast today, moving forward, if you experience it, then you are willing to take the risk. Just like the people that live in Florida willingly take the risk to experience hurricanes every year. Okay? And they pay for it through different deductibles. Because guess what? They know that it is a costly expense. So, just saying. A lot of people, and we wonder how you don't even have to do land grabs. Wait for a natural catastrophe to come in town. You got the insurance companies. I got my check. Oh, you don't have any? Okay. Well, you have no house, but you have land. Okay. Well, then they give up the land because they now have no house. Then it goes back to the bank. Recycle. Rinse, repeat, y'all. Rinse, repeat. I guess this is why I did go to, well, I have a big girl education, so I understand how the system works. No, I understand how it works is because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a business owner. And I understand insurance because I was an insurance agent. But it does break my heart because a lot of destruction I saw over the past 24 hours with the raising rivers and stuff. So, all right. I think that's about all we have for today. Just a quick reminder, we are the change. So one thing that you can do to spread the word today is tell your friends, your families, your lover, your mother, your niece, your brother, your sister, and your papi too. Tell everyone that they don't have flood insurance. Okay? If you do not have flood insurance, you are taking a risk. Just like the rest of us. A lot of us are riding dirty and just like, hey, I want to take my chances. I ride dirty and I take my chances. But I'm also one that knows that if something happens, I have the capacity and the know-how to pick up and start over again. Not everyone does. Okay? Not everyone has the grit to start over every couple of years. Well, mine's been about every 8 the past 24 years. Woo! Told you about my Scorpio complex. I like change. And my soul will not allow me to be stagnant. So it's like, nah, let's just disrupt this. No, but some people genuinely are not cut for a lot of change. Okay. However, if you experiencing it though, I'm a firm believer that you signed up for it, a part of your life soul's contract. It's probably something in your natal chart. And actually, if you are experiencing flooding and you're interested, you just want to see if it's in your natal chart, DM me. We'll look at your natal chart and we'll see if you're in a transit that stimulates and highlights the water energy. Because it's Cancer energy is what it is. It's this Cancer, where it's been going back from Leo to Cancer. It's been causing a lot of ruffle. I mean, it was in my astrology chart when my dad passed away. And my 6th month, like little indicator, like you're going to experience something. And I'm like, dang. Just saying, we sign up for it. And the more that you understand that life is happening through you, through you, not to you, life will become a lot easier to flow with. Right? Grand day, one love. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
The journey to healing starts with a single step. Are you ready to embrace your true self? Join us on April 27th at the Tranquility Salt Cave in Columbus, Ohio for the New Moon Inner Child Healing Sanctuary, led by Marcus Christolite from Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. This transformative event guides you through inner child wounding education, sacred journaling, and a powerful guided meditation for just $55 from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. As a bonus, immerse yourself in the tranquil environment of the Salt Cave with a 50% discount on a 1-hour halotherapy session, available for just $20 more from 6 to 7 p.m. EST. Spaces are limited, so don't miss this unique opportunity to reconnect with your authentic self and release emotional baggage. Book your spot now by scanning the QR code or visiting tranquilitysaltcave.com/events. If you have any questions, DM Crystolite or call Tranquility at 614-859-3419. Your journey to healing starts here. Embrace the new you under the new moon.
A New Moon Inner Child Healing Sanctuary, taking place for the first time ever at Tranquility Salt Cave in Columbus, Ohio. Get your ticket today, as spaces are limited. Any questions, just reach out to myself, Marcus Christolite. I will gladly guide you along the way.